Hi everyone, welcome to Meta Interview with Klara Kopi. Today I'm here with Pandu, Decentricity. She is building her own metaverse called Reality Chain. Hi Pandu, how are you?
Hi, Clara. It's nice meeting you finally.
Nice to
Hello.
meet you too. Looking great.
Thank you. You're also looking great. And I love your art, the art that's behind you.
Oh, it's my husband's. He's a
Oh,
graffiti artist.
amazing.
So we
Very
have a
pretty.
bunch of these canvases at homes, and I wanted to look pretty.
Very pretty. That's very pretty.
Lots of colors.
Yeah. So it should be an NFT, all of them.
Oh, yeah, he's making. Well, one
Oh,
day
okay.
we'll show you. So let's start by the beginning. Tell us a bit about your background. Where did you come from? Important things in your life that led you to where you are. Whatever you want to let people know about you that make them understand who you are and what are you doing.
Sure. Okay. So just to let everyone know, I'm Decentricity on Twitter. You guys can follow me there. I'm Decentricity in most social media, including LinkedIn and including Instagram and all the others. So point is, I've been in the metaverse for quite a while. I was in Second Life. So one of the things that sort of like changed my life was when in 2011 I started working for a company back then called IBM. Like you probably know IBM as
Yeah.
being a very corporate-minded company, right? And it's true that it's corporate, but a lot of people don't really know that they actually helped out Second Life at the beginning. So I don't know if they invested or anything, but whatever what they did. But like what I was certain of, like we had an island, like IBM had an island back in Second Life. So 2012, I started like logging into Second Life and just walking around, having the time of my life, really, like just meeting people and looking at the IBM buildings and jumping over. And Second Life was actually very advanced, like even back then, because like it can have like multiple islands linked together, and multiple islands are actually served by different servers, maintained by different servers, but you can jump from one server to another by just walking. Like that's a technology that Second Life already had, like even back in 2012. And then basically 2011 I went in for the first time, started walking around, and then 2012 I decided to buy land. So I bought Second Life land. So you can buy Second Life land like now, and since 2012 that's also possible. So
Wow.
yeah, so I had three parcels. I had three different Second Life parcels back in 2012, and these three parcels I made into like major. I guess at least back then it was a major landmarks back in Second Life, because one of them actually became the Museum of Computing. It's the Computing Museum, Second Life. So I made replicas of servers, replicas of old computers within the world, and people can visit, people can donate, and then everything's already there. 2012 was also the year that I discovered Bitcoin. And the cool thing about discovering Bitcoin is I discovered it within Second Life. So this was around 2000, I forgot 2012, 2013, but like 2013 was the first time I actually started buying Bitcoin. So Second Life actually had an economy. So it had an in-game currency called Linden dollars, and Linden dollars can be swapped over back then to Bitcoin. Small fractions, well, not small fractions, but Bitcoin was really cheap. So we were buying Bitcoin by swapping them with Linden dollars. There was an exchange called Virtual World Exchange, or VRWOX, and it's no longer here. It's since disappeared. You can still probably Google VRWOX, but the VRWOX actually allowed you to swap to Bitcoin. And even had ATM, like ATMs in world, like within the metaverse itself. You can have an ATM. You can set up an ATM for visitors, and visitors can just use the ATM to buy Bitcoin. So this was back in 2013. So I bought into Bitcoin. So actually, metaverse brought me into crypto. And then I so that's obviously changed my life. I mean, I've been doing crypto since 2013. I've been in love with technology since then. But like in the metaverse, I've been there even earlier. So the way Second Life sold and bought land was actually not like we buy land in NFT, like when we were using NFTs.
Yeah.
Of course, because what you do is you need to pay a subscription fee to Second Life, to Linden Labs, which is the owner of Second Life. And the subscription fee basically allows you to set how many land you want to buy, like you want to own, basically. So if you have 3 or 4 land, you have more, the subscription fee is a lot higher than if you have only 1, for example. So so I maintained that land for a while, and then back in 2017, I think 2017, I believe, I forgot to pay the subscription because, of course, like it's been years, and it's not 100% a key part of my life anymore. At least back then, since I was working, very busy as well. By the way, in 2017, I happened to be that would be the first time I went full-time crypto. So back in 2017. So before I was still working at IBM, then I left IBM 2017, full-time crypto, forgot to pay that subscription fee. And then I lost the land. Like everything that I created, I lost. And the crazy thing is the land isn't deleted. The land is just still there. I think it's still there even now. When you go into Second Life and just look around. Yes, and this is like, museum land, right? So there's decorations, there's old computers. I have no access anymore, but like I'm pretty sure people are still visiting. People are still looking around. People are still using the museum for meetups. I don't know, like at least to look around. And I don't have access anymore. I can't even. I actually tried. Back in 2019, I think, or 18, I actually tried to emailing Second Life several times to basically get I even offered to just pay all of the subscription fee that I didn't pay, but they didn't even answer. Like they didn't even answer the possibility. So I lost land that is still there that I built for years. That's sort of like something that immediately sort of like changed the tact that changed my strategy about the metaverse. Sort of like that's when like NFTs started to come up as well, and I got interested in crypto voxels. So I was like, I think I was in crypto voxels for a while before buying in. So it was walking around back in 2019, I guess, and it's like I found crypto voxels. And I thought it was awesome. It's like I like exploring within it. It's still like, it might sound weird, but it feels like a spiritual experience because I'm coming back into the metaverse after losing my Second Life land.
Yeah.
And it's a totally different metaverse. Crypto voxels. You might say actually crypto voxels is compared to Second Life. Second Life has better graphics. Right, like the Second Life always has like amazing graphics. Like you can actually have a photorealistic graphics with some types of Second Life engines. But Second Life, you have to download engines, right? You download the big engine like 200, 300 megs, and then even then you still have to buffer. You still have to load in everything first. Graphics are amazing, but like that's slow. Crypto voxels, you can just use your browser, and it's like, this is a very different way of doing things, which means I can open stuff on mobile. I can open stuff on my regular browser. I don't have to even install anything. Okay, so I started looking at it, and this is interesting. Mm-hmm. In 2020, early 2020, I bought my first crypto voxels land, and on my crypto voxels land, I put in, I'm a refugee from Second Life. So I'm a refugee from Second Life. Anyway, but then I realized one thing. There are a few things that even though crypto voxels is amazing, there are a few things that can be improved, sort of like within crypto voxels. And one is, if you are on crypto voxels and you're using a mobile device, you cannot build. And a key experience of actually metaversing, creating a metaverse is like creating, right? Making new things and customizing new things. So you can technically log in like with the metaverse browser, for example. Logging in is possible, but editing is not possible at the moment. And I also tried the other metaverse lands like some namespace, sandbox, and none of them have that capability. And I think, and even like Crypto Voxels is even the best one for mobile, and it's because it has at least has mobile capability, but you can't really build in world. That's one thing. And the second thing that I realized, which I think should be rectified, is that so I actually come from I'm currently in Miami, but like I actually came from a third world, a developing country, Indonesia, and a lot of people in Indonesia actually are really their main device are not laptops. Their main device are mobile devices. So I realized that like we need to have something that is accessible, needs to be mobile first, something that can be used by anyone. And the other thing is, if everything is 3D, like people who are used to casual gaming would not prefer it. Like, here's the thing: there are multiple types of gamers, right? There are multiple types of metaversers also. Some metaversers are actually very casual. They like building in a casual metaverse. They like doing now, but the thing is, the crypto metaverses are not. There are no, at least back then. This was early 2020. There wasn't any early 2021. Early 2021. So early last year. So there weren't any major metaverses that are sort of casual style, like instead of like fully 3D. So 3D has its places, 3D has its locations, but if it's but if you have a casual metaverse, you can actually grab a different piece of the market. Of course, 3D needs to be part of it as well, but like 2D as well. So I decided back then, together with a bunch of friends, including a game developer that's been in the industry for 10 years, to create Reality Chain. And Reality Chain, sort of an improvement of everything else that I mentioned before, has mobile access. You can build in world with mobile devices. It has a casual metaverse as well. So yeah, that's sort of the overview of what I've been doing the past year. Well, actually 10 years, if you're calculating since 2012. Yeah.
You've been in metaverse a long time, since the beginning almost. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. Awesome.
And you answered a bunch of my questions already. I was going to ask you about your transition from your previous work area to Web3. But yeah, you've been born in the metaverse, as you said in Twitter, and it's true. You've been in the metaverse for a long time. So I imagine that going to Web3 and adopting blockchain, it mustn't be really hard for you to. There was not really a big transition, right? You were already there on the metaverse, and you started using Bitcoin inside the metaverse. So you went almost the other way around for many people today that started on the blockchain and looking into Web3 and then started researching about the metaverse. I don't know if people do that, but for me, I started looking into Web3, blockchain, and then I found out everything else. I was only a gamer. I only play video games, regular video games like Xbox or Nintendo since I was a kid. But metaverse-wise, building and such, I didn't do that until recently. So yeah, for me, is new.
Yeah.
But yeah, actually. Go on. Can say.
Yeah. So so one thing that is interesting is like, yes, I actually sort of like transformed backwards, as in like a different journey from everyone, but everyone has different journeys. Like it's like, you know, it's still we still made it here. We still made it to Web3. But when one transition I really felt was between IBM and the way we work in Web3, because when I was at IBM, that was probably the biggest transition, because transitioning from a corporate environment to a Web3 environment is totally different. And I tried to bring some of the corporate values into Web3, but of course, not all of them fit. So this is more towards leadership and management styles, right? So the way it's done in the corporate world is not exactly how it's done in the Web3 world. And a more clear focus on the way we do things in Web3, like including, like, you know, the way we do bounties, for example, something that doesn't exist in the corporate world. So I think the transition is more towards that. For the technology perspective, I don't think there is a transition, because, you know, it's been I've been in the metaverse and doing crypto since those early years, right? So that's not a problem from a tech perspective, but from the working perspective, it's very different. Having years in IBM under my belt did help me a lot in doing several things, but it was a rough transition in terms of like changing, like adapting myself to work in the way that the Web3 degens basically work.
Yeah, that's awesome. And what was your career background? What did you do?
Oh, in my IBM. Okay. So I started at sales, and it was back when I was a junior. So IBM wasn't my first job, so I didn't start from a junior position. So I was already mid-range sales. So I was already doing something called God, I forgot. What's my role? So it's a sales role. And then I became a product leader. So I basically became the PureFlex leader for Indonesia, which is basically PureFlex is one of the IBM older IBM systems. It's PureFlex, Pure Systems. And then afterwards, I actually went through several roles, but like the most interesting ones were when I was a technical solution manager, technical solution manager reporting to IBM here actually in Austin, not in Miami, here in the US, I mean. And then my final role at IBM was territory general manager back in Indonesia. So, and then I left IBM 2017. So it's always been I'm actually always within like sort of like the consulting part of IBM at the end. So I was a senior consultant for many years, and that's those are my roles. And then of course, after leaving IBM, I started my first company in the blockchain space was Blockchain Zoo. I had there are 6 co-founders actually doing Blockchain Zoo. So there's in total there are like 7 founders. Group of founders, 1 founder, and then the rest are all co-founders, including myself. And then after doing Blockchain Zoo for a few years, I started the Indonesian Blockchain Association, which is the first association in Indonesia to bridge the gap between the government and like the industry. Most of the exchanges are part of the association at the moment. Started Blocksphere together with I'm still there. I'm still advising there. Blocksphere tech company. We've been doing a lot of types of blockchains. It's not just near. We've been doing, of course, Polkadot substrate. We've already also been doing Ethereum, and also a ton of things. We even tried R2 Corda. We tried what else? All of the Hyperledger stuff. So Hyperledger Fabric, Hyperledger Besu, Hyperledger Indy. So multiple types of technologies. We have a ton of developers, a lot more than anyone else in Indonesia. We're sort of leading blockchain development hub in Indonesia. And then back last year, 2020, we created the Bio Network, which is the first app chain on the Octopus Network, and then Myriad Social was also the second app chain on the Octopus Network. The Bio Network is the bioinformatics blockchain. It's a different podcast. Like we can talk about that separately because it needs to go in depth. Myriad Social is actually social media. And then back in April was when we created Reality Chain. Reality Chain, I was the founder, so I created the concept. And I also initiated some of the angel funds. And yeah, then we got into collaboration with a game company. And yeah, so it's almost been a year actually it's already been a year. Yes, since April
What
to
a
April.
year.
Yeah, it's already been creating Reality Chain for a year. So there's actually a lot of cool things we've already developed. There's a 3D version and a 2D version as well. So yeah, those are all my previous roles. A lot of work.
You work. You
Thank
work
you.
a lot.
I do.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Work too
You're
much.
really busy.
Very busy. Very busy. Try to have a work-life balance though. That's why I'm in Miami. That's why I'm on the beach a lot. Because
Awesome. Yeah.
the way I do it, like the way I do it, like is because I'm working. My team is in Asia time, right? Most of my team. There are some that are here. There are some in the US, but mostly they're in Asia time. So I usually work from like early morning to like I don't know 12 o'clock, and then I go out and I go to the beach
Oh,
just to
great.
sort of race, have fun, and then like sort of like that really de-stresses me. And then I come back. Sometimes I have meetings in the evenings. That's why it got really dark. I used to be I used to be a lot more pale.
I didn't used to be this pale. Actually, I wasn't so yellow.
It was yeah. This is healthier for me though. So yeah. I think yeah, a lot of people actually just ask me like, why, like, especially if friends who are following me on Instagram, for example. My Instagram is filled with beach pics. And it's
Yeah.
like, are you still working? Have you retired? I said, no, I trust me. I work more. I probably work more than
You
anyone
work
who
a
works in the
lot.
office. I work more than 8 hours a day. I work a lot. It's just like between work, I go out to the beach
Yeah, you're
because
very good. You're very good at managing your time and balancing your life.
that's
I've been
important. Yeah.
yeah since the pandemic started. I haven't left the house, so yeah,
Oh,
I'm
that was me
very
last.
very pale.
Oh, that was actually me last year. So last year we started Dibayo, we started Myriad, started everything else, and I was doing it from a room in my house in Jakarta, like just nonstop working,
Yeah,
and
that's me.
it's not healthy mentally to be frank. Like
Yeah,
like
it's
going
not so
out.
good.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So
Yeah,
that's
it's
me.
hard. Yeah, but I'll get out there one day.
You should. You
I'm
should.
just gathering courage to go out back on the world.
Yeah, you should. You should go.
It's okay. What do you think of DAOs? Are you in any DAO or intending to create one?
We have the reality chain DAO already up in
Oh, cool,
Amsterdam.
awesome.
There's not a lot of activity there, to be frank, because we haven't launched yet. But
Mhm.
the DAO will be basically helping decide metaverses to deploy. So one thing, I guess I haven't mentioned this, but like reality chain is actually a metaverse as a service. So we
Mhm.
can help you create a metaverse, and the way we do it is in a decentralized way as possible. So there are
Yeah.
multiple steps. But like the first step is basically for example, if you're a PFP project, a profile picture project,
Mhm.
uh, Clara's Girls, for example, that's your PFP project, 1,000, and people have already bought, and then the Clara's Girls
Yeah.
wants to create their own metaverse, for example.
Oh,
You
cool.
just
Like
go,
you can add your metaverse as a utility for those people who have an NFT.
Yeah. So
Awesome. Awesome.
if instead of Clara's girls having to create their own metaverse, they can just come to our site, basically deploy a new smart contract that is a staking smart contract. So people who are staking our tokens, staking reals,
Yeah.
once they stake to a certain amount, like a community stakes to a certain amount, a metaverse is generated for them. The
Oh,
metaverse
that's so
generated for them,
cool.
and then the NFTs are distributed throughout the community. So the community, the people who stake more basically basically get more land, basically. So that land can be used by you, by the community, by the people who actually stake, to be resold. So you can sell it again. You can use it like in the secondary market, and you can build inside. And it's a separate metaverse from anything else. We're trying to make every metaverse interoperable, of course, but you can have your own metaverse, your own domain, that we built for you. And
So cool.
thank you. And the DAO is actually very important then, because there are off-chain and on-chain elements, right? The on-chain elements are obviously the
Yeah.
staking and the NFTs. The off-chain elements are, the upkeep of the server, maintaining new servers, and then like some of the game stuff we can't decentralize it. The DAO actually owns the infrastructure of like creating the land, so it runs it for you, and is to be active there at launch. Yeah, Clara, did I freeze? You froze
No,
earlier.
you are just a little. The sound was a little bit cutting, but not much. Yeah, I could understand you.
Okay, awesome. Okay,
I
all right.
loved this idea. Actually, I want to read more about it because I understood some of it, but I would like to know more about it because it seems very interesting. Yeah, it
Yeah,
adds so much value and utility to communities, right?
right.
It's
And
very cool.
I
It
one of
got
the
me
things
thinking.
one of the things that I think the sort of like the issue that we're also trying to solve is that you see a lot of the PFP projects out there, right? And
Yeah.
and a lot of the PFP projects are saying that, oh, we're building a metaverse. There's a new PFP project going to build a metaverse. But the thing is, most of them are creating a metaverse on their own, which would be fragmented, which would fragment everything in its entirety. If you're a metaverse person, you'd understand, because like if there's too many metaverses that are not interoperable, then it's not a metaverse anymore. Because back when when this concept was created, William Gibson created the concept of cyberspace, and what's his name, Neil Stephenson created Snow Crash. The idea was to have the metaverse be one single entity, the metaverse. And then like all the other parts of the metaverse are like in different parts of it, but not different metaverses, but like one unified whole, or at least an interoperable whole. So
Yeah.
if we allow, basically, if we let all the projects create their own metaverse, that would be not very interoperable of a metaverse. And that's actually
Okay.
ironic, because NFTs are very interoperable, right? At least within the
Yeah.
same chain. Yeah. So that's what we're trying to do. That's also why we are trying to be multi-chain. Multi-chain, as in you can log in with multiple wallets, which means that you can log in one island as like with your Ethereum wallet, and then you walk over to another island, and you are connected to your near wallet, for example. So that's what we're trying to set up.
That's awesome. I'm already a fan.
Thank you. Okay.
Looks very good, the project. Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Now, where does the inspiration and the motivation to create reality chain came from? You you were in Second Life, and then you started in Crypto Voxels, and then you felt like you wanted to make it more accessible for people from third world. Really, most people I know here in Brazil don't have a computer. They have a cell phone, and that's it. You do everything from an app. You don't have softwares on computer and do stuff. We do that because we edit videos and it's impossible to use some of the software we use to make it on the cell phone. It would be really hard. But we work with that, so we have a computer. But most people create music, video clips. People are getting very creative with the cell phone today. So was that inspiration and motivation to create your project, Reality Chain, or did you have another motivation to do that? So what did this inspiration to create Reality Chain came from? What did motivated you a lot?
Okay. What really motivated me was the fact that I lost my land in Second Life because I built that and it's no longer there. So, NFTs as a whole, making sure that the metaverse actually is interoperable with NFTs. That is something that I really, really want to have within like that's one of the reasons that I created Reality Chain. The other motivation is actually because of the social interaction that I've had in both Second Life and Crypto Voxels. I've went to a lot of parties in both platforms, in both worlds. There are some long-term friends. Actually, there's a friend that I met in Second Life literally 10 years ago, and we're still friends on Facebook. Yeah, we're friends, and he's not into crypto. I keep telling him to get into crypto. He doesn't want to get into crypto, but like he's a Second Lifer, and Anyway, so of course in Crypto Voxels, I have a ton of friends also. The Philosopher is one. Pixie is another. There's Otis, there's Magal, there's a ton of people that I only knew from like Avatar. we just know each other's avatars, and like they're so cool. And then social interaction is sort of the reason why I want to ensure that Reality Chain takes off because I think the world is without borders now. And as ever since COVID happened, the pandemic happened, people are locked at home. You don't see people. Back when I was doing Second Life, I used to just walk around Second Life and just look at beaches and look at trees, look at mountains, and just explore nature, really like nature within Second Life. And it was of course, Second Life is still doing that. You can still go to Second Life to do that, but we do need an alternative to that that actually has actual ownership, actually land ownership. So because when I didn't pay for the Second Life subscription, I actually lost ownership not just to the land, but also to every single item I've ever bought. My clothes.
I feel your pain.
It's so sad. So
God.
Can you imagine that? So that's very painful. And that ownership layer, that ownership structure is actually important. Because you can't pretend to have a realistic metaverse while not having realistic ownership structures, right? Yeah.
It's crazy. You buy the land and it's not yours. God, I can only imagine.
It's not mine. It's super sad. Anyway.
Yeah. I'm glad you overcame it and came up with all these great solutions for that because, oh my.
I think
it's so sad.
Yeah, it's so sad. We are starting with 2D for Reality Chain, but it's not just going to be 2D. We're also going to have, we are building an engine that is 3D. There are two types of Reality Chain engine. One is the 2D verse engine, and the second is the 3D verse or Reality verse engine. So two engines actually play off each other. We'd like to have something that is interoperable between 3D and 2D. So it can have the same map. Like you have the same map, 3D and 2D. But like, interactions are always going to be different, of course, but like it could have, because it's the same map, you can be like, when you're at home on your laptop, you're at your 3D party. So the party is 3D. Everyone's dancing, and then you have to go. For example, you have to go for groceries. You just move to your phone, and it's 2D. And then like you can just walk while you're on the metaverse. So it's non-immersive. It's casual. It's a lighter version as well. Of course, if your phone is really good, your connection is really good, you can still do 3D on top of the phone. But like if you don't want to, you can switch over to 2D so that the experience is more casual and it's easier. Yeah,
that's great because you don't lose the social aspect of it. You just change a little bit so you can use your phone. 'Cause, yeah, 3D on the phone sometimes is a nightmare. It takes forever to load.
It takes forever to
having the option. Having this option is great because if you don't have a awesome computer or a good awesome cell phone, you can still talk to people, you can meet people, you can be social, and you don't lose the social aspect of it, even though you lose a little bit of the immersiveness. You're still there, you can do it. You're not stopped because you don't have a lot of money to pay for a better equipment. It's awesome. It's very inclusive.
Thank you. Yeah, that's the idea.
I liked it.
Thank you.
I was going to ask, why did you choose to build on your protocol? But you are actually not building only on your protocol. You're building across chains, right?
But however, there is a reason I chose Near Protocol. Awesome. It is, of course, because of the technology that is on there. Of course, everyone knows about sharding on Near Protocol, and that technology actually helps to maintain decentralization while having a much quicker blockchain and much more scalable blockchain compared to basically L1s. Now, there's also something very interesting about Near Protocol is that it has both Octopus network and also Aurora, which means it has basically with Aurora EVM capabilities. It also has with Octopus substrate capabilities. Now, that is actually a very key point because there's interoperability between the assets and between the smart contracts. Sometimes, in some cases, you can build because we want to be multi-chain in a way that is as decentralized as possible. We want to start at the Near ecosystem and then like bring in metaverses, like the multiple metaverses for the Near protocol. But then after we can, for example, jump over to the Octopus network and create a metaverse there, or jump over from Aurora to the Ethereum compatible metaverses and can start another metaverse there. And everything is still interoperable with the DAO functionalities that we create. Our tokens are going to be Near Protocol tokens that are also ERC20 tokens. So it can be bridged back and forth. And all these tokens are going to be sort of the way we are building a metaverse for you. So if you want to build the metaverse, you need to stake the tokens. The tokens are called reality real. So the real tokens are going to be, once it's TGE, the real tokens are going to be the basis of building the metaverse on top of. And I think it's a very good choice, Near. I think it's key to have Near as well, because we want to have like it's not just you can create a metaverse in a way that is very, very light, as in like the Web3 part can be not very heavy, and that's different from like crypto voxels, for example. Crypto voxels has like for example, when you're building, your builds are not safe within the chain, right? Like it's just like it's when your ownership of the NFT is safe within the chain, but your builds, your bricks, etc., is not safe within the chain. Now, for reality chain, the builds are still not safe within the chain, but it can be. Like in future developments, we can basically make so that reality chain builds are like saved into the chain in a way that is not very heavy. So imagine that, like imagine creating a building on top of your land, saving it into the chain, and then when you sell it, you can sell the land, but you can also sell the building on top of it. Now, using Ethereum, that's going to be expensive. Using Near is going to be cheap. Yeah. So like even from there, I think it's the best choice still to do Near.
And it matches what you're saying about accessibility, because yeah, Near is way more accessible, because you can start a new wallet very cheap. You can, and people help you. If you don't have money, people help you, help to onboard you. The community
Yes.
is very strong and is very welcoming to people.
Very welcoming.
So
The
yeah.
focus on the mobile browser as well, because one of the things that I like about CryptoVoxels is that it has mobile browsers instead of applications, right? So
Yeah.
this is the same as in reality chain, and the issue with CryptoVoxels on mobile is that they need to if you want to log into CryptoVoxels, you need to go to MetaMask and log in with the MetaMask browser,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And that is yeah, like first of all, that's a centralization, because that means that you're you're giving your life into like just this one browser every time, which is, MetaMask is trusted, of course, consensus, Joseph Lubin or whatever,
Yeah.
but like it's still there's always questions. And Infura is centralized as well, like has at least has elements of centralization. Near is actually quite good in terms of the mobile wallet, because the mobile wallet is just a mobile browser. Like you just open a mobile browser, then you can log into Near, and then log into Near means you can log into Reality Chain. So that mobile first perspective is really strong when I'm doing Near, and you can compare with the other technologies. Polkadot, for example, I don't know if they already have a mobile wallet, but April last year, I believe they don't yet. They don't have a mobile, like, okay, they have a mobile wallet. I think it was Fearless, but that mobile wallet does not have mobile browsing yet. So back in April last year, we couldn't choose Polkadot. So we chose Near instead. Near is the best choice in our opinion. And the other ecosystems, we've already tried, like we've tried several, but I think the best one is still Near for this type of requirement.
I'm loving it, and it's very easy to use. As a non-tech user, because I'm an artist, I don't understand tech much. I will study a little bit more, but yeah, I'm not as a non-techie. I appreciate it very much, because I know that will help with the adoption of most users, because yeah, you don't have to download a bunch of stuff, and the community is very easy to access. It's all very organized. You know where to go if you want to talk to people in the community. You don't have to keep asking for everyone on Twitter to pay attention to you. You can go up Near and talk to the community. You will be listened.
Very open.
And yeah, I like it. I love it. Actually, I'm loving working with Near. It's very, yeah, I'm loving it.
Yeah.
And I love to see projects like yours growing and helping build the community, because it will strengthen the community having its own metaverses inside Near, right? Because people can stay there and be happy and socialize and have pretty things to build, and we like that. we get happy building pretty stuff and talking to people, and yeah, it's going to be awesome. I really believe in your project.
Yeah. Thank you, Klara.
So yeah, I'm not going to ask what are your thoughts on the metaverse. You talked a lot about that already. And what are your plans for the future? Where do you see reality chain going and growing, and how do you envision that?
I feel that reality chain needs to be sort of the dominant metaverse for multiple chains, as in like we can start with Near, of course, but like all the other chains that want to have metaverse capabilities can also utilize reality chain. Of course, the basis is still going to be Near, but it's a token that is interoperable with ERC20, so we can actually, we can actually deploy the metaverse in multiple spaces. in multiple chains. So the multi-chain capabilities is actually very important, because it will allow the metaverse to be exactly what it was meant to be, one single metaverse, with like elements of this chain in this island, that chain in that other island, and walking from one island to another means that you're walking from chain to chain. That is important. I think that needs to be done, because otherwise we would be dominated by corporate metaverse such as Meta. And
Yeah.
I think another thing about Reality Chain is that besides being dominant, we also want to start being interoperable with other metaverses, making sure that our items, for example, can be imported into CryptoVoxels and vice versa. For example, that's a there's a longer term plan, but like that's something we're trying to build. We already have plans to incorporate interoperability with another metaverse. This is still going to be a few months away, so I can't announce yet. But that type of interoperability is quite spoilers. Yeah, that type of interoperability is actually very important. So item interoperability, building interoperability as well. So it's either so my point is the decentralized metaverse needs to unite, but unite in a way that is still decentralized. And I think Reality Chain provides that, and interoperability also provides that, because having that interoperability means that the NFTs, the on-chain data, the on-chain stuff, are king. Basically, that's what we refer to. And once we have that, and we have multiple metaverses, we have one whole metaverse experience.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's great. Yeah. I can see it spreading like a fever. I hope it catches everyone in a good way. So yeah, you're at it. Like I said, you are always answering my questions before, because you're making a great experience, because you're answering everything at once. So you're working on, what are you working on now? You are working on this interoperability and building a 3D verse.
Sure. The 3D environment is what we're building now. And we are also building the interoperability between the metaverses, 2D and 3D, and also this other third-party metaverse that we are trying to build interoperability with. So it's all interoperability. And at the same time, from the marketing perspective, my marketing team is initiating an event this month. Actually, it's going to be towards the end of this month, and it will be with one of my country's biggest bands. Actually, Mocha. It's a legendary band here in Indonesia. We're going to start like one of the. I think this is going to be a very high-profile metaverse party on Reality Chain. So we're busy doing parties as well. So last year we've already done some prototype parties. It's on our Twitter. You go to Reality Chain and scroll through the media. I think there are some videos.
Search it. Yeah, awesome.
We already have streaming live in World. So the streaming from Twitch, just like in CryptoVoxels, but of course CryptoVoxels is 3D. This is 2D for now. So it looks sort of different. Like it's like an overlay, but it's still, it's still streaming. Like you can still listen to the DJ, and then like we have voice chats on. I think CryptoVoxels had issues with their voice chat. We have our voice chat still on. And then chat we have, of course, since the beginning. Still working on a lot of minor improvements until launch. We're also still fundraising. We're actually still waiting for funds to be raised. We're collaborating with our initial investors to actually get more VCs into the investment pool. And that's sort of what I'm busy doing.
Awesome. And from the investments, everyone can invest, or do you have a minimum?
Our investments are actually open for. So right now we're trying to open up to more VCs for the private round, and then for the IDO we are open to everyone, to individuals.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I'll try to be
Yeah,
there.
like if you're yeah, but like if you're interested, you can actually already register in our website just to, or go to our Telegram and then like express your interest if you're
Mhm.
interested in an allocation. That's already possible. Only remember that we are going to be focusing on VCs this round, and then like in the ideal we will only in the ideal we'll focus on the individual investors, but it's a case by case basis. So we will try to incorporate. If you have like higher ticket, you might be able to get an allocation.
Awesome. Yeah, we're still on the beginning, building the foundation, right? So yeah, you need bigger investments at
Yes.
this point.
Yeah,
I get it.
exactly.
Yeah, it makes sense. So yeah, now talking about the future, yeah, what legacy would you like to leave for future creatives and builders, metaverse builders, artists, people coming to this place, brave new world?
I would like to leave a legacy of, again, this is not just the metaverse, but like the entire thing, a legacy of having ownership of your data, ownership of your own privacy, and ownership of your own digital stuff. And having that be like the main expectation. A few years ago, I was very concerned about the state of the digital world actually, because like we were like the younger generation. I'm 37 by the way, so the younger generation, the people in their 20s are starting to relinquish their privacy. Like they're starting to not care about the privacy aspect of everything, and that's scary. Like a lot of people are like giving data to Google, Facebook, and all of the big tech companies, and they're getting controlled by advertising. They're controlled. Their thoughts are controlled even because there's a sort of like a intermediation of news, and that's super scary. And I think NFTs and blockchain, NFTs and crypto in the past few years have moved towards a point where it's now not just, it's not just the trading part, but also the Web3 part, the ownership part. What is Web3 anyway? Web3 is ownership of the platforms. Web2, you only contribute to the platforms. You are basically being used by the platforms to generate data. Web3, you still generate data, but you're generating data for yourself because there's sovereignty. So a legacy that I really would like to leave is that awareness among everyone, younger or older than me. It doesn't matter. Among everyone who is in the digital universe and in digital metaverse, that owning your data, owning your privacy, and owning your items, digital items in world, that's very important. Don't let anyone else own it for you. If it's not your keys, it's not your coins. If it's not your keys, it's not your avatar.
You're completely right. I 100% agree. I'm 35 actually, so yeah, we're looking good.
Yeah, are we?
We look good.
Yeah, not bad.
But that's it. That's a big concern that I have nowadays. It's true. That's what I said on the introduction of the series. That yeah, we are the product. Like we're using their services for free, but it's not really free because you are the product. They are selling your data all the time, and now it's not just our data. Is they cross the data with the location from with the people that are with us. So people started thinking, oh, it's insane that you think they are listening what you're saying. Yeah, they're not listening, but they're crossing data through yours with people that is with you, so they know that that you want a new toothbrush or something like that, because your boyfriend searched for that. It's crazy.
It's crazy, but it's happening.
Like, yeah, no, we're not paranoid.
Not paranoid. It's true. And the only way to prevent platforms from doing that is to make sure that we own the platforms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. That's a good point of view. And if you could give some words of wisdom to those who are studying, who are thinking of coming here and building, what would you say? What would you tell them?
Okay. The metaverse is a very wide place. So in the context of the metaverse, you can be an artist, you can be a crypto person, you can come from Second Life like myself, you can come from both Second Life and crypto or whatever. You can come from tech. You can from the gaming industry as well. And the sort of like my words of wisdom would be to have to contribute your skills into the pool of skills that we have, because this is like the early days, the wild west of like the internet, and of course the early days of the internet. People who are contributing are mostly coders and programmers. There are some people who are writing documentation, of course, but most are mostly coders and programmers. Now, at the time of Web3, people who can contribute into this nascent ecosystem include not only the people who are coding, but also the people who are building in other ways. I actually started as a developer, but like that was many years ago. I don't code as much anymore, except for fun. I code as a hobby, not as like not for work, because I hate debugging. I code for fun. If you the work that I do is actually mostly non-dev, but still technical. So I do architectural work. Some people might be the same. Some people might not want to code, but might want to help create solutions. That is also very, very possible. If you're currently sitting in an office listening to this, and you're working for a company, you can start by having like, part-time work in crypto, addressing bounties that are available, trying to contribute to GitHub, and or even if you're a 3D artist, for example, or a 2D artist, even starting with the Reality Chain creative pack, the creators pack, you can go to Twitter to try it out.
I loved it.
I think we only have the 2D version out, but like we will have the 3D version out soon. And that's contribution, and that type of contribution really will help us build. And we're trying to build the next generation of the metaverse and trying to onboard the next generation of web 2 into web 3. But it's not just onboarding users, it's also onboarding builders like us.
I love it. Actually, I'll take a look into it because I'm doing 2D and 3D. So yeah,
Awesome.
It's a project that I believe.
Have any questions? Ask us in the Telegram group. So just try it out and then ask us.
I'm sorry, I didn't listen.
Oh, if you want to try it out, if you have any questions,
awesome.
You can ask in our Telegram group. Go ahead.
I will. Well, thank you very much. Decentricity, Pandu, it was a great pleasure. I loved so much our interview. I laughed all the time. It was awesome. For hours,
I think. Yeah.
Thank you so much. See ya.
See ya.